Hey everybody, Matt Millard here, bringing you another aspect of the week video. This week, the community has decided that we're going to be learning Zeus Shield. Zeus Shield, oft maligned, except for a few folks who really love the weapon. It is a high heat all-star. However, a lot of the any heat runners, the people who just like to post really low times, find Zeus Shield to be a little bit slow. But there are some folks out there, like Baj, BHA. He is a fantastic Zeus Shield player, and has kind of proven some people wrong that you can post some pretty good times with Zeus Shield. So again, aspect of the week is a Hades a community speedrun event where we choose a different aspect and try to share our knowledge about it and push the leaderboard times a little bit lower. So the aspect of Zeus on the shield, just to kind of walk through how it works a little bit different than most of the other shields. Instead of having a special that just kind of flies out and comes right back to you, the Zeus shield, when you use your special, goes out there and it kind of just spins around and hangs out until you call it back to you by using special again. So you see it kind of follows you around a little bit, and that's the type of thing you're trying to use to your advantage when using it well, we'll see in the run, but first let's go through my mirror choices on it, and then we'll talk about the hammers a little bit, and get into a run, and I'll show you, hopefully without embarrassing myself too badly, how to play Zeus Shield fast. So I think that this is probably a better Fiery Presence build. I'm not entirely sure how much backstabbing that you can do, so I'm going to run Fiery, but Shadow Presence may be a consideration, but we're going to run Fiery on this one. Vitality, just a very strong ability used by speedrunners. You gain a little bit of life every room, which of course helps you keep high confidence up, instead of just getting those big chunks of health back at the end of a run, or at the end of a biome, from getting the darkness bonus. So speedrunners generally use Chthonic Vitality, Death Defiance, just makes a little bit more sense than Stubborn. Greater Reflex, having 2 dashes is better than having 1, in my opinion. We run Stygian Soul because it just has a little bit better interaction with boons that you can receive from Hermes and from Artemis, I believe. But definitely the Hermes interaction. Deep Pockets for the first shop, it helps a lot. High confidence. I say this in every video, but I really mean it. If you find yourself dying on high confidence builds, or you're not entirely there with your mechanics and everything, take Thick Skin. You don't lose a whole lot for taking the extra health, but once you're a little bit more comfortable, when you're not getting hit quite as often every room, switch back over to high confidence. You will see an increase in damage, but learning is perfectly acceptable. Please take Thick Skin. It's better to get further in a run and learn from it than just dying in Asphodel because you didn't have quite enough health. Family favorite, it just helps you in especially Tartarus, because every boon that you pick up, you're going to get that 5% damage bonus versus privilege status. The build that we're doing here kind of has a difficult time turning on privilege status, so I'm going to stick to family favorite. Dark Foresight, we just want good room rewards. And this is going to be, it's really kind of a toss-up, the way that we're going to do this build. So this build is going to be Artemis on our special and Aphrodite on our attack. So we do want to see Heartrend, but Heartrend is really the only duo boon that we want. So I'm going to run this with God's Legacy because I want to make sure that I see Heartrend. It's going to make the video a little bit better. But if you're running any heat, sometimes you can high roll and take God's Pride just to get the increased boon rarity, because if you have a high level special, like an epic special and an epic attack, it can go a long way. And because you're only looking for that one duo boon, you're gonna be able to find it fairly often, even if you only have God's Pride on. So that's up to you. I'm gonna run God's Legacy because I want to see the duo boon for purposes of showing you in the video. But like I said, we want to get Heartrend. That's the duo boon that we're looking for. So we're going to start with Artemis, and we're gonna put that on special. Hammers. Sorry, before we get started, let's talk about hammers real quick. The best hammer for all of the shields is basically Charge Shot. If you see Charge Shot, just take it. It's very, very good. It's very powerful. You will see a huge amount of damage increase just from having Charge Shot. Outside of that, so you have boons like Sudden Rush. I'm not entirely sure how useful that is, because the way that we end up playing this build, it ends up being a lot more melee based, and we're not going to actually be using the Bull Rush as often as you might think. So Sudden Rush probably has some uses, but we don't Bull Rush all that often on Zeus Shield. Pulverizing Blow, attack hits twice but does not knock foes away. I feel like this could be pretty okay. Pulverizing Blow, because one of the issues that you end up running into on Zeus Shield is being able to keep enemies close to your spinning shield. So if you're able to hit without knocking foes, like out of the range of your special attack, I feel like it could be useful. Dashing Wallop, great. You do want to use your attack, especially because that's how we're applying weak to our foes, because we're going to have Aphrodite on our attack. So getting just a little bit extra damage from our dash strikes or dash attacks is great. Explosive Return, fantastic hammer. Big Explosive Return. You are sending that shield out and pulling it back in all of the time. You're going to see extra damage if you use Explosive Return, especially on Zeus Shield. Minotaur Rush, your Bull Rush gains a Power Rush that deals plus 500% damage. Is probably not that great. Again, we don't Bull Rush a whole lot with the Zeus Shield. Breaching Rush, your Bull Rush deals plus 400% damage to armor. Again, kind of in the middle. We're not going to Bull Rush all that often. Charge Shot, we talked about that one first. Charge Shot is fantastic on every single shield. If you see it, take it. It's very, very good. And then, what do we have? Empowering Flight. After your special hits, your next 2 attacks deal plus 80% damage. Pretty good, especially with the amount of time that your Zeus Shield is going to be out there doing hits. Empowering Flight is actually pretty nice. It's going to make your attack a lot stronger. And then Dashing Flight. Dashing Flight, you can't get that one on Zeus, so we'll skip that. And Ferocious Guard. After you blocking a foe, you gain plus 20% damage and move speed for 10 seconds. Again, we don't really use Bull Rush all that often, so we're not actually going to end up blocking all that much either. So I could be wrong about this, but I don't know how much that's going to do. However, let's hop into a run and see how this goes. Hopefully I don't embarrass myself too badly. I am not the world's greatest Zeus Shield player, but I'm excited to show it off.
Herself, the twin sons of sleep and death. But you, I cannot think of anything I fear, except the god of talking back to me.
Alright. Let's see if we start with the hammer or our Artemis boon. Great. So again, we took Artemis to start, and we are going to put that on special. There we go. So one of the things that you are trying to do with Zeus Shield in normal enemy rooms is you want to let your shield handle some of the enemies for you. So you can see I kind of just popped that up to the top of the room, let the shield kill the guy up there, and walked down to the bottom. That's the type of thing that you want to do in these like regular enemy rooms. In boss fights, you'll see it looks a little bit different because we're almost trying to like yo-yo the shield to deal extra damage. But let's take this Chaos Gate and see what we get here. Excuse me. Stretching. Yeah. We'll pretty happily take the special damage. Special is going to be where most of our damage comes from, because that's going to be where our crit weapon is once we finally have Heartrend. So we're going to use our attacks to apply weak, and then special is going to be where all of our critical damage is coming from, because that's where our Artemis boon is. So let's take that. And we're not going to cast all that much, so it's kind of perfect. And let's see what hammer we get. Oh no. It's happening. I'm embarrassing myself. There we go. So, here's kind of what I was saying. So like Sudden Rush is going to affect our Bull Rush. Reaching Rush also going to affect our Bull Rush. We are not using Bull Rush all that much. Bull Rush, again, is when you hold down the attack button. You're going to throw your shield up, and then you will, like, rush towards wherever your shield is pointed. We're not doing that a whole lot in this build. However, we are doing plenty of dash strikes. So let's take Dashing Wall up.
Let's see how this goes.
And so there, you see, I was able to take out that second pot by recalling the shield. So there is a lot of very interesting positional stuff like that, where I took advantage of the fact of where I'm standing versus how the shield is going to come back to me. That's the type of thing that you want to keep in mind on Zeus shield. Here, we actually have a bunch of money, so I'll just buy this Fateful Twist. Got an Air Spangle, seems okay. There we go. Kind of an odd fight. And so here we're being offered Poseidon. The reason that I'm thinking, so I don't want the attack from Poseidon, and I definitely don't want the dash from Poseidon. What I'm thinking about is whether I want to roll to see if we can get Hydraulic Might, or if I'm just going to take Ocean's Bounty to not get in the way of other boons that I could receive on my core slots. I'll roll this one time.
Got anything else?
There we go. So we did get Hydraulic Might, and that's actually going to help us out with room clear, because it's going to make us quite a bit stronger in the beginning of a room. We'll put a palm into our attack there. Artemis attack, or like Artemis boons in particular, core boons, don't palm particularly well, especially the attack and the special. But it's good to have a few if we can manage it. And we skipped that Athena there because we don't want to get too many gods into our pool. You only get 4 different gods naturally. If we were going to get more gods than that, we would have to force it with a keepsake. And we don't want to have to do that because we want to make sure that we can get Heartrend. Just hopping onto traps over here. So these rooms, these survival rooms, are actually pretty handy in terms of being able to kind of learn how to position yourself so that recalling your spear can do additional damage to foes. I took a lot of damage in that room.
Useless.
No, we're just going to take this palm here. I considered taking the trial room, but... And so, like, this is a nice thing where I was kind of just able to toss my special off to that one enemy that was really far away and let it roll out there and take care of that one. Instead of me having to walk all the way over there, I was able to go back to the other side of the room and take care of enemies like that. So Zeus has a lot of very interesting abilities in that way. So this is an interesting choice. Because Hunter's Mark is very good, but also Support Fire is going to end up doing a lot of damage just because of the amount of times that our special will hit. I'm trying to think of what call we're going to end up pairing this with. What gods do we have in the pool? So we only have... I think the correct choice is to just take Hunter's Mark. So we're going to do that.
What I need.
And we'll put one palm into it.
Hope I didn't keep you waiting.
And we'll find out later if
Come on.
that was incorrect. But here you're going to kind of see, we kind of want to yo-yo. Ooh, jeez. I'm not particularly good at this yet. So we want to use our attack like a yo-yo. However, there we go. So that's a much cleaner example of what we're trying to accomplish here. Yikes. Where'd she go? There she is. Okay. Got through that one. Ugh, got a little bit ugly there at the end. But let's see if we can get
Nix's power.
we're gonna take Aphrodite's keepsake here, and we're going to get Aphrodite on our attack, and then we're gonna look for Heartrend. Okay, so this is just a general speedrunning tip, but if you see the yarn of Ariande in this first mid-biome shop, it's usually a pretty good idea to purchase it. Reason being is because oftentimes the first boon that you'll see in Asphodel is a Hermes, and getting an upgraded rarity Hermes is a huge deal. That's how you're going to end up seeing better dashes instead of just like common +1 dash. You can see +2 dashes or even epic +3 dashes, which is great. And just all of the other Hermes boons, if they are upgraded, just end up being a lot more useful to you than the common versions. So buying that yarn there is pretty much always the correct choice. And so our first is going to be Aphrodite. It wasn't Hermes. It's totally fine. That's how hedges work. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. But we are going to take this and see if we can get the attack. Sorry, I'm very thirsty. Alright, let's continue on. There we go. So let's take a look for attack here. Nice, perfect. we're going to take this Eurydice. Sorry, I couldn't remember her name. This is the Eurydice room. And again, one of the things that you're always trying to do when you're speedrunning is look for the free rooms. So any story room like this where you meet one of the NPCs, the in-game timer is paused. So when you're doing in-game time runs, this room is completely free in terms of the timer ticking down for speedrunning. So it is the perfect option. Here... Here, the correct option for us would be to take Refreshing Nectar, because we want the duo boon, so we want the next Aphrodite or Artemis boon that we see to be upgraded in rarity, so that we can get Heartrend from it. However, it's really tempting to take this gamble here, because we only have 3 different boons. Alright, well, we have 4. Okay, I forgot that we had Hunter's Mark. If we only had 3 different boons, then that meant that one of our core boons, and potentially even both of our core boons, would get upgraded rarity, but we could completely whiff and get Hydraulic Might and Hunter's Mark. So we're actually going to do the smart play and take Nectar here. And here the game is going to force us some Athena, which is fine. We'll find a use for it. Thanatos. Thanatos is for in-game time speedrunners, their best friend, and for RTA speedrunners, which I mostly do RTA, to be perfectly honest with you. Their worst nightmare, because Than rooms are so much slower, so even though the in-game time is paused for a real-time speedrun, that doesn't matter. We're going based off of the actual amount of time it takes to complete a run, and these rooms just take forever. However, you can kind of see I'm trying to use... Yikes. Trying to use the special to take care of some enemies that I otherwise am not particularly close to. Alright, I'm going to show you a trick here. So you see we ended this room right next to Thanatos. So the in-game timer was not running at all during this particular room because it's a Thanatos room. So, because we ended the room right next to Than, he's going to drop his heart, and he's going to leave the room because we're close enough to him, even though the timer is not running. So here, we're listening, we don't hear Than's music anymore. That means that he's dropped his heart, and he's left. So we don't have to wait for him to leave when the timer starts running again after we pick this boon here. So this is actually a time skip, or a little bit of a time save. We don't need a... Did take this? No, we're just going to take Bronze Skin. And then we're going to pick that heart up, and then we're going to go and check the shop. Hopefully there's an Artemis boon in here. Actually, hopefully there's not, because I am 1 penny short of being able to purchase it, so that's fine. But this is more Aphrodite, so this is good. Fantastic. Pretty good fight. Sometimes you just have to take some damage in that fight, and that's just how it goes. But you want to wait for the Doomstone to finally fall, then you can Meg, like, as it's falling you can Meg, and that's going to get both of them at the same time, and then you can clean up afterwards. Here we're going to roll, because we want to see Heartrend. There it is. So now, bonus critical damage versus weak enemies, plus 150%. So now, we're going to attack enemies, and our special is going to do huge crits because of Heartrend. So this is basically the full build. This is what we wanted to see.
More Inferno bombers?
Oh. I was facing the wrong direction when I... So this is chamber 22, which is kind of a shame, because that means that we can't take that Chaos Gate. Or it means we shouldn't take that Chaos Gate, is what it means. Because Chamber 22 is the last regular room in Asphodel. So the next room is going to be the shop before the end boss. And taking that Chaos Gate wouldn't actually skip a room. It would just create an extra room and lose us a few seconds if we took it. So from a speedrunning perspective, we don't want to do that. We don't want to fight more rooms than we have to. Here's an interesting choice. Because we could take the shop and get whatever random boon gets offered in there. Alternatively, we could just take this palm, and we really could use like one palm or even a few palms in our attack, and we don't have any yet. I think we're just going to take the palm as our end shop reward. Reward. That's the right word for it. That's what we'll call it. There we go. It didn't actually work out for us. Didn't get offered to put it in our attack, but we'll put it in our special so that we can do a little bit of extra critical damage.
You really didn't have to reconstitute yourself just
So here we want to send out our special, and we kind of want to yo-yo learn it. It's kind of difficult to see what we're doing, but we're basically sending our special out and then recalling it right away. Ooh, kind of ugly there. Can you? Why won't Lerny come out of Invuln? That was very strange. Yikes, we do want to be a little bit careful in this fight. Owie. Oh, wait. There we go. And so now let's take care of the last bit of Lerny's health here. Perfect. We had a pretty good time going into that fight, but it didn't go very well due to my inexperience with the shield. So at this point, I think that we already have our full build. We really don't need anything else in particular. So I think that we're just going to take... It's a shame. Where's this 1 penny? I need this 1 penny. We're going to take Coin Purse because I want to buy one of my DDs back. Alternatively, we could have taken Hades Call. Hades Call would have also been a great pickup. And we may still bring Hades Call into Styx. That would be perfectly acceptable. So here we have an option of our second hammer or a Hermes. I want to take our second hammer. I want to see if we can get Charge Shot. Charge Shot would be very helpful for us. One of the things that you will see very experienced shield players do is be able to manipulate the enemies to actually knock them into your special. So either like knocking enemies up against a wall or kind of dashing, so like putting out your special then dashing past them to knock them back into the special. That's the type of thing that you would see a very experienced Zeus shield player do. Baj, just watch Baj's videos. He's a very good high heat player and has dipped his toes into the any heat speedrunning scene and has some great videos. But let's see here. What hammer do we want? So Sudden Rush. Again, we're not bull rushing. Breaching Rush. We're not bull rushing. Explosive Return. Fantastic hammer. We are throwing out our special and catching it all the time. It's going to be huge for us. Let's take some health. We only have 95 max health. That's not a lot of health. It's really not. But you can see we actually kind of took that thing out by catching our hammer right right near the head. With the little, you know, eyeball thing. Nah, we still don't have a call, so I don't want to take any more Athena. If we did have one of our calls, then we could take Athena and look for Proudbearing. Proudbearing would be a very nice thing to have with the calls. Alright, so let's see what we get here. Oh, wow. Big mistake there. Okay.
So much for
Yeah, the boss fights are something that I definitely could use some more practice with, as you're seeing here.
In the name of Hades. She's offering an exchange.
Do we want anything in particular from Aphrodite? Not really, no. So just taking life affirmation is perfectly fine. So that's what we will take. Like Sweet Surrender would be a good boon to pick up, but it's not necessary to the build or anything. So there's no need to spend rolls on it, when we could instead save those rolls for like things that really matter, like eventually finding
Delicious.
Is that still palming decently well? 31, 32. Yeah, sure. Let's buy that Chaos Gate. And what do we see here? I think we're just going to buy this health and this heart. Again, same reason as before. Don't have a call that we really need to get Proudbearing for. And Athena's call is not something that we're actually looking for. Athena's call doesn't really increase our damage by any particularly good amount. So we don't want to pick up Athena's call. We would rather just have that as a nice little bonus. Or later. So again, you're kind of seeing the two different ways that you can use the shield here. One is to like get right on top of enemies and finish them off, and the other is yeah, let's take this Chaos Gate and skip the final chamber in Elysium. Why not?
Let's see.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, you can use it to, you know, let the shield take care of enemies for you, or to apply weak to them and kind of stay right on top of them until they die. Here we're just gonna take Added Favor. Roiling Flourish is a trap. It looks very good. Special damage deals plus 45%. That's huge. However, it would also show us 38% more foes, which is bad for speedrunning, so we are not going to do that. But Added Favor, we're not casting all that often, so it is the least painful burst to take. So that is the one that we will choose. I just want that money, just in case I need it later. And so now we're entering Heroes.
Hey, Meg.
Take care of this.
The fury.
this is like perfect positioning for them. We want to keep them right here where they are. And just let the shield take care of them. Again, that positioning with the shield is kind of difficult in order to be able to maintain like uptime of the shield, actually having it out there dealing damage, and being able to keep the enemies within range, especially bosses. Here,
Instead of resting here.
let's see, what do we want? Okay, the correct option would be probably to take Hades' Call here if you're a more experienced Zeus Shield player. Because we don't have a call yet, and being able to use Hades' Call and get that plus 100% global damage when you turn it on would be great. But I am scared, so I am going to take a Lucky Tooth. So if you want to go full throttle and just go for it, take that Hades' Call. But if you want to complete a run, you know, sometimes you take Acorn, sometimes you take Lucky Tooth. The types of things that you kind of have to do.
Let's see what's in here.
From this Athena, I think I'm actually going to, or not Athena, sorry, I meant Aphrodite. I think that we're actually going to try and take Passion Dash. Passion Dash would be pretty handy to have for the final Styx tunnel. And then I think from the Artemis that we're going to take in Tunnel 2, we are going to look for pressure points. I think that is going to be our goal there.
What sort of terrible snakes down this Megara? Here.
And again, this is really kind of the move, is you want to like knock people into corners so that you can keep that shield on them a lot easier. Because when they're just in the middle of the room, it's very difficult to keep your shield on top of them doing all of those crits from having Heartrend. See what we find in here. Alright. Pretty good.
It's no use.
And so, I mean, at this point, we're really just hoping for the 2-sack. I really don't,
Not now.
I don't know how much more there is to say. Well, it's not a 2-sack. That's fine. I knew I was being a little bit, where's this last one? There he is, all the way down there. I knew I was being a little bit aggressive with trying to just kill that boss instead of worrying about all the damage that I was taking. Sure, we'll take Artemis Aid as a call, especially because we don't have one yet. And what final tunnel will we take? Let's just take some more health. Well, I say final tunnel. We could be out here doing quite a few more tunnels. Don't actually know yet. The shield really helping out with these types of tiny rat rooms, which again are like bad from a speedrunning perspective. They take much longer to complete than a normal Styx tunnel. But the fact that you can let the shield worry about part of it is pretty good. So here we are, not a 3-sack either. finally getting to fully experience the RNG elements of the game Hades. Just let me heal. And what's next? Let's get another palm, I guess. What do we need in here? All of these are pretty good. So will we get the dreaded 5-sack, or are we going to be able to complete this in 4? We will find out now. Nice. I mean, I say nice. Nobody ever wants to see more than a 2-sack. A 3-sack is pretty okay. 4-sack, very, very bad.
The prince.
However, they do happen, and you just kind of have to roll with it. So let's get into this Hades fight and see if we can use everything that we've learned about Zeus' shield from the run to be able to defeat
You are predictable.
Hades. So we want to put that cast in there. Oh boy. It's darkness right away, huh? Very rude.
Darkness. Do you feel your blood beginning to boil?
Yikes! Alright, there we go. So again, we want to like try and yo-yo him, or yo-yo the shield on top of him. I didn't realize I had a full call bolt up there, but that'll do. Bring us to the final portion of the Hades fight.
You can't kill me.
This, of course, is a little bit easier in terms of maintaining shield uptime because he just doesn't move around as much. Alright, so this is perfect. So we're actually going to get our final bit of call built up here for a nice big crit. And we're going to hide. Thanks. And that's Hades. So, you can see, Zeus Shield, it is a very technically difficult weapon. There's a very high skill ceiling on it. We got a 4-sack and ended up with a almost 13-minute in-game time, which, you know, is not unreasonable for a 4-sack, I think. However, you can see that there really is a lot to learn about positioning and about how to use that special to your advantage, and especially in the boss fights. If you want to watch someone who is very, very, very good at Zeus Shield and learn more about their boss fighting techniques, go check out Baj. I will put I'll put one of his videos or a link to one of his videos in the description down below. The point of this video series is to kind of show you the build that you can use to get started with a weapon. So with this one, Heartrend is a great combination of, or is a great duo boon to look for. Putting the Artemis special and the Aphrodite attack together to get that Heartrend duo boon is really, really fantastic. Does a ton of damage. And that's what I wanted to show you today. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, give me a subscribe, and we'll be back next week with the next aspect of the week. But thanks everybody for hanging out. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.